In the realm of firearms, imagination sometimes takes the upper hand over practicality. This video unveils 15 bizarre and surreal firearms that, despite their impracticality or unique design features, have left their indelible mark on the history of weaponry. Some are vintage rarities, some are avant-garde anomalies, but all of them are fascinating reflections of human ingenuity and creativity in the face of danger and conflict. Number 1. The duck's foot pistol. A peculiar invention of the 18th century, the duck's foot pistol got its name from its strange design, resembling a duck's webbed foot. It was a type of volley gun, intended to fire multiple shots at once, each barrel pointing in a slightly different direction. This firearm was often used on ships, where it could effectively counter a potential mutiny by covering a wide arc. The duck's foot pistol was typically a 4-barreled flintlock pistol with the barrels arranged in a spread, much like the foot of a duck. Each barrel would be loaded with gunpowder and a round lead ball, just like a typical black powder pistol of the period. However, the barrels spread outward, and when fired, the bullets would spread out in a wide arc. Despite its unique design, the duck's foot pistol was not particularly effective. The spreading shot meant that it was hard to hit a specific target. While this made the gun less effective in a duel or traditional firefight, it was considered useful in situations where a user might be outnumbered, and the goal was to disperse or deter a group. For this reason, it was often used by ship captains, prison wardens, and bank guards. Each barrel of the pistol had to be individually loaded and primed, which was a time-consuming process. Additionally, firing all barrels at once created a substantial recoil that could be difficult to manage. As a result, the duck's foot pistol was not widely adopted, and only a few original examples survive today. Though it didn't achieve widespread success, the duck's foot pistol nonetheless represents an intriguing attempt at solving a specific problem, controlling crowds in tight, confined spaces. Its unique design and strange aesthetics make it a fascinating study in firearm history. The spread-fire pistol's ingenuity lies in its attempt to prioritize wide-ranging impact over precision, a testament to the inventive mind working to maintain order in a potentially chaotic environment. Whether seen as a practical solution to a real-world problem or a strange curiosity of historical weaponry, the duck's foot pistol undeniably leaves an impression. Its bizarre design and unconventional approach to crowd control encapsulate the challenges faced by its users and the creative solutions they employed. It's a testament to the spirit of invention and a reminder that sometimes even the most unconventional design can have a place in history. Number 2. The punt gun. In the annals of firearm history, few weapons are as bizarre as the punt gun. Popular in the 19th and early 20th centuries, this behemoth of a shotgun was designed for one purpose: market hunting. Unlike other guns of its time, the punt gun wasn't designed for precision or individual targets. Instead, its sheer size and firepower allowed hunters to take out large flocks of waterfowl with a single shot. The punt gun was not handheld. Due to its enormous size, it was usually mounted directly onto punts, small, flat-bottomed boats used by hunters. When fired, it could kill up to 50 birds at once. This made it incredibly efficient for market hunters who sold waterfowl for meat, but the environmental impact was devastating. The punt gun decimated bird populations, contributing significantly to the decline of many waterfowl species. The sheer size of the punt gun also presented its own challenges. Some were reported to be up to 14 feet long and could weigh over 100 pounds. The recoil from firing such a weapon was reportedly so strong it could propel the punt backward in the water. Also, loading and priming the gun was no small task, requiring a considerable amount of gunpowder and shot. While their effectiveness for market hunting was undeniable, the environmental impact of punt guns eventually led to their downfall. Laws were introduced in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, banning their use in an attempt to protect dwindling waterfowl populations. Today, they serve as a stark reminder of the lengths to which people will go in the pursuit of economic gain and the impact such pursuits can have on the environment. 2, 3. Number 3. The key gun. The key gun is one of the more surreal entries in the history of firearms. These unique devices, which were popular in the 17th and 18th centuries, were literal keys that could also fire a small lead ball. The idea was to provide a surprise weapon that could be used in self-defense. At first glance, the key gun appears to be an ordinary, albeit large key. However, closer inspection reveals a gun barrel where the shaft of the key would normally be, and a small touch hole that could be primed with gunpowder. To fire the key gun, you would load it with a bit of gunpowder and a lead ball, prime the touch hole, point it at the target, and then ignite the powder with a separate source like a slow match. The key gun was by no means a primary weapon. It was, at best, a surprise weapon to be used at point-blank range. The small amount of gunpowder it held meant that its stopping power was minimal, and it lacked the accuracy of a traditional firearm. It was also single-shot, meaning after one use, it had to be reloaded, which was a slow and fiddly process. Despite these limitations, the key gun found its place in society, primarily among jailers. A jailer's keys were always on hand, and a key gun provided a hidden line of defense against potential attacks from prisoners. Additionally, the keys themselves were often large and sturdy enough to be used as a club if needed. Although not a firearm in the traditional sense, the key gun is a quirky and fascinating footnote in the annals of weapon history. It exemplifies the principle of combining utility and defense in an unexpected way, reflecting a time when the danger could be lurking around any corner and one had to be prepared to defend oneself with whatever means available. Number 4. The Apache Revolver. Unveiling a bizarre blend of weaponry, the Apache Revolver was an odd trifecta of a revolver, a knife, and brass knuckles. Popular among the criminal underworld of Paris in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the weapon was named after the French street gang Les Apaches, known for their ruthless violence. Compact and foldable, the Apache Revolver lacked a barrel, sacrificing accuracy for concealability. When fully deployed, the weapon could be used as a standard 6-shot revolver, while the fold-out knife and brass knuckles provided additional close combat options. The brass knuckles served as the grip, which meant that even if the 6 rounds of the revolver were spent, the weapon could still be used in a fistfight. Similarly, the fold-out knife offered another line of defense or aggression. Despite its multifunctional design, the Apache Revolver was not considered a high-quality weapon. It was notoriously inaccurate beyond close range and not particularly durable. However, its portability and multi-use design made it popular among street gangs and criminals. Today, it stands as a testament to a darker time in Paris's history, and an example of the creativity applied to personal weaponry, when usability and intimidation factor superseded the need for precision or range. Number 5. The Guy-Caught Chain Gun. Among the more surreal firearms to have ever been invented, the Guy-Caught chain gun stands out. Invented by Frenchmen Henri Guinaud and Paul Languet in the 1860s, the Guy-Caught chain gun was not a traditional firearm. Instead of using a standard revolving cylinder or a magazine, it used a unique chain-like mechanism to hold and feed the ammunition. The most distinguishing feature was its horizontal chain magazine, which could hold up to 100 rounds of ammunition. The chain would be manually advanced, feeding the cartridges into the firing position. This design allowed for a high capacity, but it also created a cumbersome and complicated weapon. The Guy-Caught chain gun was unique not only in its ammunition feeding, but also in its ammunition. It fired an unconventional projectile, a 6.5 mm or 13 mm round without a casing, using the chain's metal links as the shell casing. When fired, the chain link would be destroyed, leaving just the bullet to exit the barrel. Despite the innovation, the Guy-Caught chain gun wasn't a practical success. Its complexity, expense, and reliability issues outweighed its high capacity. However, it does illustrate a creative attempt at problem-solving within firearm design, and it remains a unique and fascinating footnote in the history of firearms. Number 6. The Protector Palm Pistol. A peculiar departure from traditional gun design, the Protector Palm Pistol is a piece of firearm history that truly encapsulates the term handgun. Designed for personal protection in the late 19th century, this uniquely shaped pistol was intended to be gripped in the palm of the hand, hence the name. The Protector Palm Pistol, also known as the Minneapolis Palm Pistol, was a double-action revolver of sorts. Its circular design housed a rotating disc that held 7.32 caliber rounds. Its unique feature was its squeeze trigger mechanism. Instead of a traditional trigger, the protector was fired by squeezing the entire device in the palm of your hand. Due to its compact size and concealability, the protector palm pistol was marketed towards civilians for self-defense. Its small size made it easy to carry in a pocket or purse, and the simple firing mechanism was easy to operate, even under stress. It could be carried discreetly and brought into action quickly, firing as fast as the user could squeeze. However, the pistol's unconventional design also carried its share of drawbacks. Its small size and lack of a proper barrel limited its effective range and accuracy. Additionally, its squeeze trigger, while simple to use, was also easy to misfire if carried loaded and squeezed accidentally. While the protector palm pistol never achieved widespread popularity, it remains a fascinating example of the lengths to which firearm designers have gone in the quest for concealability and ease of use. It stands as a testament to the innovative and unconventional solutions that were thought up in response to the societal need for personal protection during its time. Number 7. The harmonica gun. Of all the strange firearm designs, few are as odd as the harmonica gun. Named for its distinctive method of loading ammunition, it's a prime example of the inventiveness that marked the early history of firearms. The harmonica gun, also known as a slide gun, gained its name due to the rectangular block that held the ammunition, visually resembling a harmonica. The block, filled with chambers for individual bullets, was slid manually from side to side after each shot, aligning the next round with the hammer and barrel. Developed in the early 19th century, the harmonica gun was an early attempt at increasing a firearm's capacity beyond single or double-shot designs. Some models could hold up to 10 rounds, a significant increase over other firearms of the time. This allowed for multiple shots without reloading, a considerable advantage during that era. However, the harmonica gun had several notable disadvantages. It was awkward to handle due to the weight distribution, and reloading the gun was a slow and laborious process. The design was also inherently complex and prone to malfunctions. Moreover, the rectangular block obstructed the gun's sights, making it difficult to aim. Despite its novel approach to increasing ammunition capacity, the harmonica gun did not achieve widespread use and was soon overshadowed by more practical designs, such as revolving cylinders and later magazine-fed weapons. Nonetheless, it represents a noteworthy attempt at solving the issue of limited ammunition capacity in early firearms. The harmonica gun serves as a testament to the inventiveness of early gunsmiths, reflecting a time of rapid development and experimentation in firearm technology. Number 8. The Colibri 2.7 mm pistol. From one of the largest firearms, we turn to one of the smallest, the Colibri 2.7 mm pistol. This diminutive semi-automatic pistol, produced in the early 20th century, is regarded as the smallest centerfire cartridge pistol ever manufactured, making it an undeniable oddity in the world of firearms. The Colibri, German for hummingbird, was the brainchild of Austrian watchmaker Franz Fanel. Released in 1914, it boasted an overall length of just over 3 inches, with a barrel barely over an inch long. The tiny pistol used 2.7 mm centerfire cartridges, which Fanel also developed. Despite its small size, the Colibri functioned similarly to larger semi-automatic pistols. It had a detachable magazine that held 6 rounds, which were loaded into the chamber via a slide mechanism. Though a marvel in miniaturization, the Colibri was not a practical weapon. Its tiny size made it hard to handle, and its minuscule caliber offered little stopping power. It was marketed as a self-defense weapon for gentlemen, but it quickly became apparent that its lack of power and difficult handling made it unsuitable for this role. Despite its impracticality, the Colibri 2.7 mm pistol is a remarkable feat of engineering. The level of detail and functionality packed into such a tiny package is testament to Fanel's skill as a watchmaker. While it failed as a practical firearm, the Colibri found its niche as a collector's item. Original examples are now highly prized due to their rarity and the curiosity surrounding their unique design. Number 9. The Lamat Revolver. The Lamat revolver, developed by Dr. Jean-Alexandre Lamat of New Orleans in the mid-19th century, is a fascinating divergence from traditional revolver design. Its unique feature was a secondary shotgun barrel located underneath the primary barrel, enabling the weapon to fire either pistol or shotgun rounds. The LeMat revolver typically held 9 shots in its revolving cylinder, which was significantly more than the average 6 shots in other contemporary revolvers. The secondary smoothbore barrel underneath was loaded with a shotgun charge and could be fired by flipping a lever on the hammer to strike the lower firing pin. The result was a weapon of considerable firepower and versatility. The LeMat's combination of multiple pistol rounds and a backup shotgun blast made it a formidable weapon in close-quarters combat. It gained some popularity during the American Civil War, where it was carried by several Confederate officers. Despite these challenges, the LeMat revolver remains a significant firearm in history due to its innovative design and the attempt to increase firepower and versatility in a single weapon. It symbolizes a time of rapid development and creativity in firearm technology, as inventors sought to increase the capacity, firepower, and flexibility of their designs. Number 10. The Turbo Le Protecteur. Even among the diverse range of firearm designs, the Turbo Le Protecteur stands out. This palm-sized gun, developed in France during the late 19th century, is another fascinating example of a weapon designed for concealment and personal protection. The Turbo Le Protecteur is a disc-shaped weapon that fits comfortably in the palm of the hand. It operates on a double-action mechanism that rotates its top-mounted 6 or 7-round chamber, firing .32 extra-short rimfire cartridges. Its trigger is a small lever that extends from the body of the weapon, and it is fired by squeezing the entire apparatus in the palm. Although it was easy to conceal and reasonably simple to use, the Protector was limited by its short range and lack of accuracy. The lack of a proper sight made aiming difficult, and its tiny .32 extra short rounds didn't have much stopping power. Nevertheless, it was popular among gamblers and other individuals who valued a hidden line of defense. Despite its limitations, the Turbo Le Protecteur stands as a remarkable example of a unique approach to personal defense weapons. It showcases the inventive spirit of firearm designers of the era and their creative solutions to the challenges of concealability and ease of use. Number 11. The FP45 Liberator. The FP45 Liberator stands out not for its sophistication or performance, but for its simplistic design and strategic intent. Produced by the United States during World War II, this single-shot pistol was intended as a psychological weapon to be airdropped to resistance fighters behind enemy lines. The FP45 was incredibly basic in its design. It had a smooth bore barrel and fired a single .45 ACP round. It was crudely made and was not designed for longevity or accuracy. Its purpose was to kill at close range, with the hope that the user could then acquire a better weapon from the deceased enemy. While its effectiveness in combat is debatable, the FP45 Liberator remains a unique chapter in the history of firearms. It's a testament to the role of psychological warfare and the belief that arming a civilian population could tip the scales in a large-scale conflict. Today, surviving examples are sought after by collectors for their historical significance. Number 12. The Gabbett Fairfax Mars Pistol. Exploring the boundaries of firepower and ammunition size, the Gabbett Fairfax Mars Pistol emerges as an awe-inspiring piece of weaponry. This enormous semi-automatic pistol was designed by British inventor Hugh Gabbett Fairfax and produced from 1900 to 1907, presenting a firearm that was literally larger than life. This behemoth of a handgun was available in a variety of large calibers, the most notable being .45 Mars long and .360 Mars, making it one of the most powerful pistols of its time. Its complex long recoil operation, where the barrel and bolt recoiled together for a longer distance than the cartridge length, was designed to handle the powerful cartridges it fired. Only a small number of Mars pistols were ever produced, and the British War Office rejected it after testing due to its excessive recoil and complexity. Despite its failure as a commercial or military success, the Mars pistol remains a fascinating piece of firearms history. Its over-the-top design and excessive power make it an enduring symbol of the quest for ever-increasing firepower in the early 20th century. Number 13. The Knock Gun. Among the weirder and more extreme firearm designs in history, the knock gun undoubtedly has a firm place. Invented by British engineer James Wilson and manufactured by Henry Knock in the late 18th century, this volley gun was a spectacle of excessive firepower. Designed for use by the British Royal Navy, the knock gun featured 7 barrels, all of which fired simultaneously when the trigger was pulled. Each barrel was .52 caliber and could fire a musket ball, resulting in a tremendous discharge of lead. The idea was to clear the decks of enemy ships during naval engagements, making it a sort of early shotgun. Despite these problems, the knock gun remains a fascinating example of 18th century firearm design. While it wasn't particularly practical or successful, it was a product of its time, reflecting the needs and circumstances of naval warfare. Today, it serves as a reminder of the extent to which inventors and manufacturers were willing to push the boundaries of design and firepower. Number 14. The ring gun. Delving further into the world of peculiar and unconventional firearms, one encounters the ring gun, a marvel of miniaturization and concealed weapon design. Also known as a bag-a-piston or bag-a-few, these firearms were designed to provide a covert means of self-defense, so well hidden that it could be worn on a finger. The ring guns originated in France around the mid-19th century. The concept behind the ring gun was to incorporate a small firearm into a wearable ring, a feat that required a significant level of craftsmanship and precision. The typical design included a rotating cylinder, a tiny hammer, and a trigger mechanism, all integrated into the bulk of the ring. One of the most recognized ring guns is the Le Petit Protector. This particular model was a 6-shot ring gun that fired 5mm pinfire cartridges. The cylinder was mounted on the ring's top, while the hammer and the trigger were located on the band. To fire the ring gun, one would need to manually cock the tiny hammer and then pull the trigger. The ring guns, despite their novelty, were far from being practical self-defense weapons. The miniaturization that made them wearable also severely limited their firepower and effective range. The tiny pinfire cartridges they fired had very little stopping power. The lack of a barrel meant they had a minimal effective range, and aiming them was a matter of guesswork. Furthermore, they were slow and fiddly to load. In the broader context of firearm history, the ring gun symbolizes the ongoing tension between concealability and effectiveness in weapon design. It serves as an example of the extremes to which this principle has been taken, highlighting the inventive and often bizarre solutions that designers have come up with. In the world of concealed weapons, where the element of surprise can sometimes outweigh raw firepower, the ring gun has etched its own small but noteworthy chapter. Number 15. The gyrojet rocket gun. When thinking of firearms, one typically imagines devices that fire solid projectiles propelled by rapidly expanding gases generated by combusting gunpowder. But the gyrojet rocket gun breaks this traditional image and ventures into the realm of science fiction. Designed and manufactured in the 1960s by MBA Associates, MBA, of San Ramon, California, the gyrojet was a family of unique firearms that fired miniature rockets, known as microjets. Robert Mainhart and Art Beal, founders of MBA, sought to revolutionize the firearm industry with their unconventional design. The basic concept of the gyrojet was to use the propulsion of rocket rounds to overcome the limitations of traditional bullet cartridges, such as recoil and noise. Unlike conventional firearms, the gyrojet's rounds gained velocity as they traveled further, as opposed to losing it. A gyrojet gun, be it a pistol or a rifle, did not have a traditional rifled barrel. Instead, it featured a smooth bore, and the spin stabilization necessary for accurate flight was provided by the rockets themselves. The microjets were small, self-contained rockets with angled ports that imparted a spin as they fired. This concept gave the gyrojet its name, gyro for the spinning motion of the projectiles, and jet for the rocket propulsion. Despite its innovative design, the gyrojet had several significant limitations. Its unconventional ammunition was expensive to produce and difficult to find. Moreover, the rocket rounds were slow to accelerate, meaning they had low muzzle velocity and thus lacked stopping power at close range. The lack of recoil, while reducing shooter fatigue, also made it difficult for users to realize if the gun had actually fired, especially given that the gun was nearly silent. In a larger sense, The story of the gyrojet underscores the ongoing struggle in firearms design to balance power and reliability with innovation and novelty. While the gyrojet didn't find mainstream success, it still represents an important moment in the evolution of firearms. It showcases the lengths to which inventors will go in search of the next revolutionary design, even if it means venturing into the realm of rocket science.